Hey, pistol shot number 14, we are doing an exercise called Step Up to work on your strength. If you are not sure whether you have the strength requirements for a pistol, this would be also a test for you. And if you already know you have the strength requirements and are lacking in the mobility and the balance, then this one we will scale up into a real exercise. So this is for everyone, and depending on your level of strength, you will go higher for harder, lower on the step, chair, riser, whatever, coffee table, for those of you who think you don't have the strength requirements. But you know what, let me rephrase that. First of all, in the tool, any height will work. Okay, I will show you how to vary it and scale it for your level, regardless of the height you may or may not have handy. Although if you did aerobics or something in, what was that, the early 90s, then you probably have one of these aerobic step thingies, you know, like this. Maybe even the fancy one with the adjustable risers, okay? But hey, we make do. If you have one of those kids step stools, as long as it's wide enough at some point in order to put your whole foot on it, that works. Look, don't let the lack of tools hold you back, and we will figure it out. And then as far as the strength requirement, remember this is a body weight exercise. So it's not a matter of how strong you are in terms of sheer muscle force. Oh, look, he's here. Look, he's here. Oh, yo, puppy. Look here. I found myself a little puppy. Oh, I dropped a coin. Hi. Hello. So this is, where did it go? I was pulling out the change out of my pocket, my little change that I find from cleaning for my sister today. Long story, or not important, or whatever. You're probably already aware. I'm my sister's cleaning lady. Okay, anywho. All right, so this is a body weight exercise, remember. So depending on how heavy you are, it's going to be harder. Even with the same level of height. And then of course it does also depend on how much muscle mass you have. So we'll figure out where we are and just work within our level, or slightly above it, and work up to that. So this is a strength exercise that does not mimic the pistol. So we already had two other main strength exercises, actually three. We had just the plain air squats, and all the variations that I probably showed you. Then we had the one leg box squat, so quasi assisted pistol, or modified pistol. Modified pistol, not assisted, that's a different terminology. And then we had the wall sliders, okay? And now we are doing the step up. What was the other one? I feel like we did another one for strength. But okay, three, I think we did three. So here would be your fourth strength exercise, which, like I said, will double as a test for you if you are not sure if you have the strength for, you know, a pistol / deep squat. Okay, so remember, strength is the focus on here. So I did stop being lazy and pull out my actual plyo box, because I did want to show you the version if you're able to rig something high enough, or you know, actually have a plyo box and you're doing this at the gym. Something high enough where your knee will be above 90, okay? And of course, higher the harder. All right. So I guess I'll show you from here first, since I'm already here. So the step up really is working the strength on one leg at a time, where we're really focusing on the strength of the back side. So our hamstrings and our glutes, And if you are worried about balance, because we're working one leg, put it close enough to the wall where you could tap for support. Okay. So what we're doing here is once we have our foot flat and elevated, we're going to be shooting more for straight up versus leaning. Okay. You will end up, leaning somewhat, and you may need to compensate at this level. So we're going to figure out where we are. So we're shooting for straight up, and we're doing that by pressing into this heel, okay? So even though you will come forward into this lean in order to set up, once you start putting weight on it, then instead of continuing to propel forward, we're just going to step straight up like so. Just making sure I don't have my lights above me, okay? So step up, and then on the descent, we're going to step down, with as much control as possible. So biggest clue here is, even if you can get yourself up, get yourself down, if you feel that your knees are caving in, and again, I'm doing this completely cold, no warm up whatsoever. I actually felt that coming in, especially I'm so tired right now, and sleepy. So maybe don't do it like I'm doing it, but that is the main drill. So let me show you from this side. Again, we're trying to press straight into the heel, trying to keep this knee tracking over your toes, not letting that cave in, or that would be the sign if it is. Hello, oh, I'm so obsessed, okay, and shooting straight up, okay, and you can see I kind of shot myself up. If you could do it with control, all the better. Do go ahead and finish up on one side, however, okay, don't do an alternating one on this one. So if this height was too much, you would just take a normal chair, so maybe one that gives you a 90. I didn't bring a chair with me, but I will do it on a bench. And same idea, just shooting straight up, okay? I will address the people who actually found that probably have the strength to do this, but don't have the height. I'll show you what you could do. All right, so we're focusing here today more on that strength, okay? So if you could find that level to where you could crank out like 20, then you would be able to progress to a higher level. Now, if this is hard, then you just start lowering and lowering your elevation, which is totally fine. Okay, we're going to find out where you are. So again, keeping that knee tracking towards the toe, kind of pressing it almost towards the outside, definitely not letting it cave in, and pressing in through the heels to go straight up, okay? Pause at the top, and then reverse that down and gently tap down, and just stay here on one leg, okay? So that basically means you don't need to move your elevated leg, just keep it planted, okay? Now, if you have the strength and you don't have a high enough elevation that's challenging, I will tell you how you can make it ultra challenging. So instead of just the step up that I showed you, okay, instead of doing that, before you actually really shoot up, come up enough only to that point where that trailing leg is off the floor. So make sure it's a dead leg first before you come up. So you have that pause, okay, where you're really loading up before you shoot up. So you could do it that way. All right, guys. Okay. And then of course, if you want to use this as a separate exercise, hold the dumbbells, all right, to give you that additional challenge, okay? All right, so I think that's about it. If you could do, 8 to 10, if you're able to rep it out at an elevation with your knee that's higher than 90 degrees, then you definitely have the strength to do a pistol. If you can't do the pistol, then it's something else with your mobility or your balance. All right. Now remember, with the mobility, there were different areas of mobility that could be holding you back. Same thing with the strength. There's a couple different areas in the strength that could be holding you back. This one is really for your posterior chain. We are going to address the quad strength, okay, separately, okay? All right, give that one a go. This one's a great exercise all on its own.